daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome back to the Daily Southampton, part of the Global Sports Podcast Network. My name is Greg Elliott, and as always today joined by my good friend and wonderful co-host, Zach Ingo Finch. Zach, for the first time since we started doing this podcast 317 episodes ago, we have won 2 games on the bounce. How are you feeling, mate?
Since April 2024, we have finally won 2 games in a row. Back-to-back wins. Absolutely insane, mate, isn't it, really? I said we should go out and batter them because as much as I feel sorry for their situation, we should still do that. We pretty much did that.
Yeah.
You could question where these performances have been all season. The fact that Tom Fellows passed to Azaz and he scored. It's like, what?
Well, look, it has to be said that we have not seen that particular combination of Yander, Cienza, Fellows, and Azaz all on the pitch at the same time at any point until today.
So what's the problem, Will Stil?
I mean, I don't know if it was, but I mean, 2 wins in 2.
2 in 2 is like
Tonda record with a 100% win rate. Like,
I would like to think, right, that the work has been done, and now we're at a stage where that's the roots of the labour are being like sowed by other people. But I don't know if some of the substitutions and some of the lineups would have happened under Stil, and I think that has a big contributing factor to us winning, right? Like,
it's good that. Well, my sister-in-law raised a very good point who I go to the games with, and she put it very eloquently, which surprised me tremendously. But she said, when we go back to these interim managers, we benefit because we just do the basic things better. Like, it's almost like, well, we trusted you enough to pay you thousands of pounds a week to kick a ball around. You should go out there and kick the ball around instead of listening to this wildly convoluted tactical system. And then we play better. It's crazy, isn't it?
But that's interesting because that was the entire reason we supposedly brought in Will Stil, was that he didn't really have a system. The entire point was we were supposed to win games and go from there. Like, I'm not going to lie, mate, there was a bit more of a spring in some of their steps, right? They moved the ball a lot quicker after the back of, like, literally weeks of Stil being like, hey, move the ball quicker. And they were like, and now we're just going to lump it up to big man at the top, man at the Armstrong.
And look, is that because they are now playing more for the manager? I don't know. Is it because they got the monkey off their back and got the win in the week, so they're looking a bit confident? I don't know. Is it just because, with all due respect to Sheffield Wednesday, they are not in a good position?
The league's punching bag, aren't they? Like, they're on -4 points, and I had to explain to my wife why they're in such a horrible position. And it sucks from like
all of the players that are there because they care about the club. But let's not forget that at the start of the season, and that bearing in mind they've only been able to bring in loans, they had 11 total senior players in the squad. So, it's hard to point out exactly what has changed. But you're right, under Will Stil, is that another Swansea game where we struggle and don't put it over the line?
Yeah, because
it also has to be said that Wednesday came and played. And
they played a game.
Tried to put pressure on and play at us, which actually, I think, suits us. We don't like to play against a team that sit back and a low block. That's not us at all. They were willing to go at us and put the press on, and we were like, yeah, this is exactly what we want to play against. Cheers. Bish, bash, bosh. Bang, there's your goal. It took us plenty of attempts.
100, it wasn't... It didn't fit. It still felt saintsy until the second half, where, to be perfectly honest, the second half kind of like we got towards the end, and like other than sort of a kind of a late fight back and some injuries from us and by late fight back, I mean like they made a couple of attempts at that point. Kind of, it felt comfortable, but like obviously the first half we went 2-up, and I was like, we're 2-up because I remember screaming at my wife, being like, literally texting me from the other room, being like, "Hey, how are you? Are you joking?" Like, and I'm like, no, we are genuinely 2-0 up, and I knew it wasn't going to last, right? Like we talked about how, wow, straight after usually a goal, like it's like that 4-minute period after where we kind of drop our head and then they score. And this time it was about 8 minutes, right? But we still kind of like did a little bit of messing about with the back, and then
it was just so clear it's coming, because we were like, we're 2-0 up, great. Let's start knocking it about at the back in our own box, and it got noticed by the northern end. And
yeah,
like,
I'm sure it did.
What are we doing? And then we take a goal kick short. We push it back across the box against 2 players, pass it out to Manning, who has no options or space to pass it in. I can't fault him for not being able to squeeze past 3 players. So he hoofs the ball out to try and get the big wide switch over to Fellows, but it falls short, gets intercepted, and then, I mean, does McCarthy save that shot?
Oh, I'm not doing this again. Like, ultimately, yeah, you're right. It's silly to give the ball away like that. And also, it like, Baz probably should have got a hand to it. These are both fine statements to say, right? These are both things that are observations. He will probably be annoyed as much as the next guy. The problem is we didn't let them capitalize on that much, and we managed to get to half time, and then we came out and scored a fantastic goal.
There were still some nervy moments. There was one moment I specifically remember where I don't know if Baz didn't shout loud enough or Wood just ignored him, but they nearly took each other out and nearly conceded in the process. But I mean, that was, I think, from one of the long throws from the Sheffield Wednesday lad.
To be fair, that felt like free kicks. It was mad. That guy has a throw on him.
Genuinely, I'm like, their throws are scarier than their corners, because all of their corners were going short and going wide. And I'm thinking, we're going to get another one of these Boaz Myhill memes where Baz is going to be put under pressure and he's going to kick it out for a corner so he doesn't have to deal with another one of these long throws.
Oh, God,
it's just insane.
Time to be alive.
But, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's nice. Just good vibes.
Yeah, let's not take, like, to be clear, just because we're talking about the game, I would love to sit here and do nothing but celebrate the win for the next 20 minutes. But
we just don't know how to do it, mate, because it's just not something in a row.
Twice in a row. Like, usually it's like the best we ever had was, like, I think a win and a draw before then, or it's been like a win and then maybe we had a cup game that went all right. Like, it's
I mean, it really puts it into perspective, right? 317 episodes, and this is the first time we've had back-to-back wins. It's just,
wow, the fact that it's, again, back-to-back wins in the league for the first time since April 2024, mate. Like, that shows you how out of his depth Russell Martin was in the Premier League, how we basically didn't recruit well, and, like, so far in the Championship, again, like, I have nothing but respect for Will Stil, and I feel sorry for him more than anything else. But, like, the reality is, as you pointed out, our interim manager's 2-2. He managed 2 in like 14. So if we unless we plan to draw the next 12 or whatever, which I'm really hoping isn't the case, it was just
nice to have Nathan Jones next. So who knows what's going to happen?
I don't know. They got beaten today, so we can take a little bit of solace in that.
Right. I want to talk to you about the manager, but
good. I'm sure that's going to go down well with the.
Let's have a little chat. Let's have a little break and hear a word from our partners at Bioniq.
Your body is unique, and Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimize your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now. Your body.
Okay, we are back. If you can hear the bangs in the background, don't panic. I do apologise, everyone. I haven't moved to Essex. We just recording in the evening and there's fireworks. Don't panic. We're all good. Right.
Right, yeah, let's move swiftly on.
Right. We heard from the Northern Wall today one opinion that was very clearly marked, right?
Well, that we shouldn't have an ex-Portsmouth player as our manager. No, we probably shouldn't. Yeah. Like, because if you think that we turn on people quick now, you know, we've like there was a lot of people turned on Damien Downs, and he just hasn't scored a goal. A manager that actually played for our rivals, that talks about how good they are, not even that long ago, and talks about how we'd love to go back, coming back. Like, no, we did this once before. We saw how that ended. No, thank you. Yeah. I don't care about how practical, how pragmatic it is. At the moment, one of the main things is morale. If they have to deal the players with us screaming at the manager every game, it's not going to be good for anybody. So hopefully, hopefully they listen.
With that said, right, we saw at the end after the final whistle, the celebrations. I don't know if you managed to see it from where you were, but right in front of me, Leo Cienza and Jack Stevens both effectively dragging Tonda in front of the Northern Wall to make it to let him do the fist bumps and the cheers, and there was some good camaraderie. Now, I am not saying that Tonda Eckert should be our next permanent manager, right? Let's get that out the way.
No,
because I don't know. Because I don't know.
Okay,
it's a risk, right? We want someone with more proven. I think it's too early to say one way or the other. I'm just saying, maybe we're not in as much of a rush as we initially thought we were, right? If he gets another 3 or 4 games, we've got another 3-game week when we come back from the international break. If he gets those 3 games as well, I don't think anyone's going to be upset about that. While we wait for the right candidate instead of rushing and appointing someone silly. And if he wins all 3 of those games, it's a very tough argument to make as to why you would put someone in place over the top of him, right?
Yeah, I think that's a very, very good point. My worry is that they aren't just going to leave it for the international break, because I think they're going to want to get somebody in who has enough time with the team to start the ground running. Because if not, what you're talking about realistically is we have a 3-game week, see how those results are. And then all of a sudden, you're then trying to drag somebody in for 4 days, and then everybody questions why we didn't bring him in during the international break when it made the most sense.
Yeah, so, which is fine if the name is right. I don't know if the right.
I just don't think there's because, to be honest, like I wouldn't be surprised if Gary O'Neill goes now to Middlesbrough, because we're starting to see that like deck of cards collapse now, right? So where Wolves have lost their manager, you've now got probably, I imagine, someone like Rob Edwards going to Wolves, so then Middlesbrough are going to be open. So who's going to go to Middlesbrough? Potentially Gary O'Neill. If not, somebody else could replace him. We'll see what happens. Like, there's talk of Carlos Corberán having a dodgy time in Spain and supposedly coming back. And I know quite a few people have jumped at.
I would take him in a heartbeat as someone who watched his football at West Brom through family.
So yeah,
I would be very happy with that as an appointment.
But I think I agree with you. It's like, I don't know. I don't think that you want to sign someone on like a 3-year deal off the back of 2 games, right? We did that with Sellers when he won a game at Chelsea, and that proceeded to be the only game he won, bar a really, really nervy game against Leicester, which I still joke about to this day, right? Because that was the game where pretty much I would have bet like £100,000 on them scoring, and somehow they didn't. It was like us at Swansea. And that was it, right? That's the entirety of the Sellers story. So, like, I am kind of in agreement with you that, like, okay, well, if we play Charlton and we win against Charlton, and then that's 3 on the board.
If it ain't
see how it goes.
I mean, if that does happen, if he's still in charge of Charlton and we beat Charlton, let's not forget that would make him the 2nd most winningest manager of Sports Republic managers. Right?
But at least we have level 1, mate. At least I can go play pigeon shooting after match day
for only £5.50 a pint. Don't forget that.
I know we've kind of not even really launched defences. We've launched understandings, right? We have launched literary understandings of why a business runs like they do. But when we put it in that way, that currently this interim manager is one win away from being the second most successful manager under Sports Republic, is insane.
Yeah.
Actually insane.
But look, right,
Oh.
but in his defence, right, I know, just an interim manager. He is an experienced assistant manager. His record with our youth team this year has been impeccable. Was it 4 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss in the league, and then a draw with Real Madrid's under 21s is that's a decent record. We're seeing him bring some of these youth players up because he's familiar with their play, right? Barnaby Williams was a name that I did not know before the week was out. I
ain't gonna lie, mate. I saw that team sheet and I was like, I don't know who that is on the bench.
Yeah, like I heard in the press conference him say, "Oh, Cam Bragg's out, so we brought Barnaby up to the first team." I didn't, and then he brought him on at half time, presumably because Flynn has taken a knock of some sort. I can't think possibly that was ever part of the plan.
I don't know. He might have had a dodgy tummy again, right? Like at this rate, I don't even joke about that. I genuinely think we're just going to have to deal with the fact he has immuno issues. Like,
but he was solid. He came on. He got stuck in. He made some good tackles. Made some decent.
Some people saying things. So here's some of the stuff I thought was a bit weird, mate. People being like, should have brought Aribo on instead. Rebo offered so much more. He didn't offer a lot. And I'm like, Aribo in 6 months' time is not going to be a Saints player.
I think the reason we didn't bring Aribo on at half time is because we wouldn't be able to see him run for 45 minutes. The cameos we've seen from Aribo, he is a man who is not in match shape. I don't think he's got a half of football in him.
That's all right. We'll potentially, after 2 weeks, mate, have Romeu back, which is absolutely insane. And we should probably talk about that and just a little bit more of the game after a break, right?
Yeah, sure. You're right. But, yeah, and how we're running out of fullbacks really quickly, right?
Yeah, classic injury crisis. Classic right-back injury crisis that's still going on 10 years down the line.
You're right. Let's have a break and hear from our partners at Zencastr, and then let's get to that. Here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform. Zencastr came out the clear winner, with 4K video recording from your phone and AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs. It's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the show description and learn more about Zencastr.
Works well using AI editing tools.
All right, and we are back.
We are.
Right, let's talk about the game. Some goals. Yander gets his first goal in another one that could nearly have been. How has he not managed to score yet? He keeps getting so close.
Look, you were talking about shooting practice beforehand, and you said, why is it that no one puts power in their shots? And he obviously put enough power in that shot to make the goalkeeper go back into the goal a little bit, which is a win, because obviously as soon as that referee's wristwatch buzzed and everyone knew it was a goal, happy days, because until then, no one really wanted to celebrate. And
I've got to say, from the northern end, I'm stood there squinting, and I'm like, is it a goal? Is it not a goal? Did it go in? And then one half of the crowd cheered, and then they didn't, and then we cheered again. And I'm like, guess it was a goal, yeah.
Bear in mind, that was either, I can't remember if it was just before or just after as well, they scored what would have been an absolutely incredible own goal. And somehow the guy that almost scored it managed to sky it, just managed to get it out sort of off the line, right? And they had a moment like that a bit later on as well, where they managed, we managed to somehow, I think it was like, as much as we can sing the praises of Fellows and Azaz today, there was what would have been an open goal, but they managed to hit a defender instead of hitting the goal. But mate, so was Yander's goal,
and it went in. Yeah, Yander's goal.
So nice, like happy days. Finally got one, and he deserves it because he has worked hard.
And then Cienza made a wonderful run across the pitch and passed it to Fellows, who got down the wing, and then he cut back inside, made another beautiful run, took on a player, found a pass, and Azaz hit it first time with a shot on target that went in the back of the goal. What more can you ask for?
So we questioned his inclusion in the lineup. Like, we were like, swapping him out for Robinson, that's a bit, sure, okay. And I think that, up until this point, we have questioned what he has brought to the team. You could start to see a glimmer of that today, right? Like, it's going to be do hopefully wonders for his confidence, and it did, because he started to feel a bit
really
more
did.
present at that point afterwards.
Not 10 seconds before that moment, I have to hold my hands up, and, full disclosure, I turned around and I said, Azaz hasn't really done anything to prove to me yet that he's not rubbish. And then he scored, and then all of a sudden, just like a player reborn, he came back with full confidence and was suddenly this conduit in the middle of the park, picking up the ball, flicking the ball on. Him and Leo just connect in a wonderful way, and all of a sudden we've got 3 to 4 players who are happy to pick up the ball in the middle of the park and drive with it and drive forward, and then the defenders just don't really know what to do. Do they cover the pass option or do they cover the run? Because you've got Cienza, Fellows, Yanda and Azaz, who are all more than happy and more than capable of picking the ball up and just going for goal. Every time every time Cienza got on the ball, there were cries to shoot. Some of those times he was in our half. It's just
look, we know what the man scored a worldie, but come on, we can maybe get it a bit closer. But again, I think it's better than the opposite, where both even you thought for Armour's goal, he held onto it a little bit too long, and there are a couple of times that kind of has taken place. But again, it's just the confidence, and you can say, yeah, it's Wednesday, and yeah, it's QPR, and yeah, you're right. But at the same time, when you're bereft of confidence like that, it doesn't really matter. It just matters about gaining some traction, and a back-to-back wins is traction. That is something to build on.
And full credit to Armstrong, because he kept getting in and making those moves the entire game. Mm-hmm. And at one point I texted you and said, he looks a bit leggy, maybe we should take him off and put on Downs. And then we didn't take him off, and after Downs came on, he still kept making those runs and making sprints and getting in behind and looking dangerous, and putting the ball in dangerous areas for Downs as well. And it's just great.
He's now had 5 goals this season, so he's now our top goal scorer for the season. We have a striker as our top goal scorer, which is just wonderful to hear. No longer is a jack of all trades or a defender.
It feels like it's all started to click together. Like I say, I don't know if it was something magic where the sort of chemistry's come in. I don't know if it was just changing the shape around a bit and sort of playing Harwood Bellis slightly wider and bringing Stevens and Wood back into the team, because they're more of a solid 2 with the giving Harwood Bellis freedom and that unlocking Tom Fellows to go and do the attacking stuff. I don't know if it's just they've gone back to basics a bit and are just moving the ball that bit quicker because it's simpler. But something's working.
I think that's what I'm baffled by. I'm just baffled by is it that with the Preston game we truly hit rock bottom and they decided they wanted to not be like that? Because I was saying it all of last season, right? I was like, at some point, professional pride has to kick in, and you have to realize this is what people will think of you, and this is how you will go down and how you will be remembered, and how you talked about it. I think after that game where there are some players here that currently will not be remembered as playing for Southampton, regardless of how many games they've played, because their impact has been so negligible. And that's upsetting. I'm sure nobody wants to hear that. But unfortunately, with the state of results, that's true. It's going to be weird trivia questions as to who's been in that Southampton team where they had the worst points tally ever. And you're genuinely going to think that you know the answer, and then you're going to struggle to miss out names. And now we're starting to actually see the fruits of labour. I just baffled as to what changed. Is it simple as, okay, Romeu's coming back and they've realised that the standards are going to have to raise? Is it that the manager going, they felt collective guilt because it probably wasn't his fault and decided to step up? Is it after Nathan Wood swore at fans, realised that maybe they had a point? I don't know what it is that's clicked in the space of 2 games. And again, it might just be as simple as maybe behind the scenes, I know that I don't think there are any personal issues with Will Stil. Maybe they were just struggling to get on with going from this tactic to that tactic to this tactic to that tactic, and basically just got told by a guy, hey guys, just play football.
Yeah. And it's like I said, back to basics, right? All of the substitutions were kind of like for like, with the exception of Mads Rorslev, who had to come off, and we had to put on Quasi, who
decided to keep trying to play striker. the amount of times he was in their box, except it wasn't during set pieces.
That was the job of the wing backs, right? Get in there, and then I saw him come in the box with the ball at his feet in the goal, and I saw the thought cross his mind of, what do I do now? This isn't my position. And everyone around me was like,
"What you did?"
Everyone around me was like, "Why didn't he shoot?" And I'm like, "You realise he's a centre back, like a young centre back. He doesn't know what he's doing in the box. Like, he got there and wondered where he was. But credit to him, he came on and dealt with it. But yeah, like the changes were, I talked a lot about how Will Stil used to like those changes that sort of went either way, where it was either football genius or football idiot, and unfortunately, more often than not with us, it went the other way and just looked ridiculous.
He's going to be remembered for swapping out Stevens for Cienza. That's the sad state of affairs, right?
Yeah, and sometimes just going back to the basics, and this is the way I want to play. And it wasn't a traditional formation. It was definitely like a crooked 4/5 back, whatever you want to call it. You can put it on the board with magnets, whatever. Harwood Bellis was like half centre back, half right back, and Fellows was sort of half wing back, half winger, and it was. But you stick the players and say, "Well, that's how we're going to play," and then you make like for like subs, and you stick to that way. And even towards the end of the game, when they sort of had a go at us and started coming and putting pressure, there wasn't any of this like we saw on Tuesday, where they were panicking. There was actual like composure on the ball, and we managed to get the ball down and make a few more attacks, and almost catch them on the break a couple of times, and it was the most complete calm from the players I've seen in literally years.
I don't know. I think at one point Woody tried to put the ball out and Baz jumped to save it like it had been shot at the goal to make sure it was a throw-in and not a corner, which is funny because you also pointed out that their throw-ins are more lethal. But
but that's still calmer than it's been,
No, you're right. It was better than the QPR game, which was just like it was just manically making the ball get away from the box no matter what, regardless of if it was actual football or
And I kind of wish we'd have brought Damien Downs on 10 minutes earlier and given him a proper chance to settle in, because I feel like it's the sort of game he had a proper chance to get a go in and get a striker and get a goal. But actually, I don't think he put a foot wrong when he came on. He didn't really give the ball away. He challenged the ball. He made the keeper think about things. He even did some good hold-up play and passed the ball back. And, I'm pretty sure he had a 100% pass completion rate. I don't think he gave the ball away at all. And it's good because he is looking more confident, even being chucked on for 15 minutes in at the end of a game when he's probably not going to get a proper opportunity. And
if that's what they need to do to build his confidence, I'm fine with that. Because again, I know we probably still need to go out and maybe get another striker. And I don't know if you heard the reports are apparently we went in for Danny Ings in the summer and it just didn't play out. Yeah. And I don't know if you heard about this, Greg, but obviously
I did not. But we're getting the band back together, boys.
Well, that by the sounds of it, we did actually go in for him, but instead, by the looks of it, he picked Sheffield United, and that's going down well. So, well, either that, or we weren't willing to pay whatever extortionate wages he wanted. So, I think that's probably still a thing we need to pursue for sure. But also, if you slowly build his confidence, you might see a player yet, despite the fact that I think that there's still a very, very negative sentiment towards him. I've still seen I've seen tweets going out there like, "Oh, well, he gives me hope I can still be a professional footballer."
No, I think there's a good footballer in there for sure. He's just
the
opportunity and
scared,
the time,
man.
You can't come on and impact a game that you play 3-1 up with 15 minutes to go. You can come on and mess up a game where you're 3-1 up. You don't really get the opportunity to come on and put a positive spin on it, right? It's a nothing occurs, right? There's only negatives. So the fact that you can come on and not do that is good. I think there's a player in there for sure, and I hope that we get to see it before the season's out, because I think that with the right confidence and the right development, he could be a very good player.
I agree.
I hope so. Anyway, but
right. One last point, mate, that you wanted to make. We're rapidly running out of wing backs. So are our right backs now Tom Fellows and Ryan Fraser.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if Yella will be back after the
Now
international
doesn't
break.
sound like it. Roslev now probably out for a little bit longer because he went down, got
Wellington-
back up, ran back on the pitch, but then also needed to immediately go back on. So God knows what happened there.
From where I was sat, it looked like he popped his knee. It didn't look nice at all.
Yeah, nasty. So yeah, we after joking around that situation about a decade ago where we were playing James Ward-Prowse at right back because
Wellington will be
Nathaniel
back.
Clyde and
He's
whoever
on the-
else, Cedric,
Wellington-
everybody else was out. We've got now
Wellington's left-sided player, right? So it'll be
Sorry?
Wellington and Wellington's left-sided, right?
Wellington's left-sided, so is Manning. So that's okay. So then it's just the right side that's the problem because you've got Fellows and Fraser.
Yeah, let's just stick Harwood Bennett out there. It's what we did today. It kind of worked. I don't know,
Again, like it'll be interesting. It's not like they didn't come for a game, and I think that at this point, Wednesday just happy to have a club that still exists, and they're not out of the woods yet. But at the same time, they don't have a terrible owner, so power to them.
Fair play to their fans because they were vocal for the full 90 minutes. I heard plenty of them. Yeah, it was good.
I don't have a bad thing to say about them other than the fact that sorry we beat you, but also I'm not sorry.
Yeah, that said, it's a team that we should be beating that we managed to beat. So onwards and upwards. And even better than that, mate, I know that Carlsberg don't do Saturdays, but also Pompey lost. So a little cherry on the cake, innit?
And Nathan Jones' team lost to Wrexham, which are a team we beat this season. Hey!
It's all coming good. It's all coming good. But and then to put, a real pooper to the party, now we've got to deal with an international break, and we all know my feelings on that.
It's fine. Well, at least we're going into the international break in 17th and not 21st, mate.
Yeah, it almost comes at a bad time, right? Because it would be nice to kick on and make the most of this momentum, but there we go.
Look, it's been a weird week. We both had a week ago we had probably the loss that really felt the worst for most people, right?
Yeah.
And then it was then Will Stil was fired on the Sunday for our third firing before or during an episode. Yeah. And then obviously randomly Monday it all went away because everyone's like, apparently we're signing Romeu. And I was like, well, that's ridiculous. And then, oh no, we are. Oh, okay, it's already done. Perfect. And then obviously,
I'm just saying,
QPR.
Since we brought Romeu back, 100% wins.
You say we put him in the managers, but we put him and Adam Lallana, and maybe we bring Danny Ings back as a striking advisor, right? No, that's not happening. But yeah, it's been such a hectic week to have loss win like that. It's just what a week! What a week to be a Saints fan, and now. You're right, you get a bit of a break from it till
guess we could watch England.
Oh right, yeah. Sure.
Well, look, that is all we have got time for today. Thank you everyone for joining us for this celebration for the first episode once again in 317 episodes where we've been able to celebrate back-to-back league wins. Zach, thank you as always for joining me. Let us know in the comments on the socials how you feeling. Who do you want as the job? Do you think Tonda Eckert should get the job? Let us know. All comments on the socials. We're everywhere. We are on X, Blue Sky, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Everywhere. Hit us up. Love hearing from you. Really cannot wait to see what you think. We will be back to talk more about football tomorrow. But until then, everyone, have a wonderful day. And get in there, Saints. Come on.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.